So first of all, I just want to say thank you. I actually received a much more positive response yesterday than I was initially anticipating. So thank you to everyone who was so kind and polite and encouraging for me to continue this. And due to that kindness, I feel it is my obligation to continue this. So I actually wanted to provide a little scripture here. I think a lot of what people are thinking about in the aftermath of what's happened this past week is the right to speech and the freedom to speech and how that should be upheld in our country. And I actually think the reason that that is so intrinsically tied to our country and why it has to be intrinsically tied to our country was founded on Christian values, and a core Christian value is the importance of the word and the importance of speech. And that is just completely and totally found throughout the Bible in nearly every portion. One place, obviously, where most people know where it speaks about the Word is in John 1:1, where it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." 1:2, "He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through Him, and without Him nothing was made that was made." This is obviously a key phrase that denotes that Christ was with God at the beginning as the Word that God used to speak creation into existence. So already the value of the word is placed so heavily in the mere existence of Christ. Furthermore, a very famous passage that most people know of is in John 3, near John 3:16, John 3:10, where it says, "Jesus answered and he said to him, 'Are you the teacher of Israel, and do not know these things? Most assuredly I say to you, we speak that we know and testify what we have seen, but you do not receive our witness. If I have told you earthly things and you do not believe, how will you believe if I tell you heavenly things?'" A little more covert in this passage, but here it's talking about that we know and testify what we have seen. That is, through the word we have to, as Christ commanded, we have to testify about His majesty that we see throughout our lives. And I certainly think that Charlie Kirk did an exceptional job of that at every speech and meeting he ever had. Lastly, I just wanted to bring up one other passage that I found very interesting. This passage is actually found in Proverbs 8:8-9, where it says, "Open your mouth for the speechless, in the cause of all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the case of the poor and needy." That right there is fully a command to use your speech, your freedom of speech. That is an intrinsic right that you have as a human being, as a being created in the image of God. You have the right to the freedom of speech of your ideas and your thoughts. Use that. We'll go through the scripture again. Use that for the speechless. Use that for all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth so that way you can judge righteously, and so that way you can plead the case of the poor and the needy. I think that is all you really need to understand, that if we are in a Christian country built on biblical values, and biblical values are essentially entirely built on the core value of a freedom to speak ideas and speak the truth, then as a nation we have to uphold those beliefs. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. That is a human right that has to be upheld, and I think Charlie Kirk was a great example of that, a great example of why that has to be the case. His sharing of ideas brought so many people to Christ and changed so many people's minds ideologically and for the good, for Christ. And I think that has to be upheld for all time. I think that's our job now. And so I just wanted to bring some scripture that proved that and just have another conversation with you. Again, I hope this continues to move forward in a positive way, and I can continue to at least maybe do 1 or 2 videos a day, and then continue to grow this. Again, thank you so much. It means more than you know. I will stand on my faith for Christ. I will try to be and continue to be bold in my faith. And thank you. Have a great day.